Some Black Americans are saying something that is creating a lot of debate online. We are not the same. But what exactly do they mean by that? Is it about division, identity, history, or something deeper? Today, we are breaking down what people are actually saying and why this conversation is getting so much attention. Watch these clips and then I'll come back with more comments.
Like, don't piss in my mouth and then call it lemonade. Because what's the derogatory word for white people that's colonizing your land to this day? And for the Caribbean and Africans that say we don't have any culture, and come on now, we can already debunk that. What's your culture? And don't tell me food. It's to the point where I don't even want to date a Caribbean or African that has a coon mindset unless you have a rider mindset. And Black Americans built this country, not Africans, don't you forget.
You side with and you vote like and you side with the people who we are trying to get out of office, who have been stymieing our progress in this country, and then you want to turn around and tell us that we need to get in line behind you and fight your battles with this country when you immigrated here and you could have just stayed in your homeland. And now that we're saying that, no, you got to hold your own, you want to go up against this imperialistic system by yourself, because when we were asking for allies, you were nowhere to be found. Now you're getting your head cracked in by our government, and they're cracking down on all this TPS, and they're telling you that you get ready to get up out of here. You're looking to foundational Black Americans like, my brother. And we're like, no. Not anymore. You don't get to ride our coattails anymore. If you want to be an ally and you want to push for what we're pushing for, you are welcome to join with us. And you'll get all the respect and courtesies that you always have been given, as long as you are on board with what we're trying to do.
Bro, you came here illegally, so you're getting sent back. Like, I'm not really understanding where I'm supposed to feel bad. Like, it's the law. Like, that, what? Am I missing something? Like, we also can't do that. We can't go to other countries illegally and just pop up and start working and all of that without things in order, without abiding by their laws. And to be honest, it's a much worse punishment if we end up doing that. I feel like America is being generous. Y'all are getting caught and then being sent by a plane or sent by a bus back home. That's pretty generous if you ask me. Like, if I go to Russia and try to pull that off, I might not come home. They might lock me up for 50 years for trespassing. Like, I'm confused. The media is trying to make us feel bad, and they're like, oh, this person was 15 years old. He was a hard-working boy. He was in high school, blah, 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 and he was an illegal immigrant from Guatemala. Bro, you lost me. You lost me. He's illegal. So I'm sorry. Like, that's just what happens. I can't feel bad no more. Everything you said before that is disregarded.
I be seeing immigrants on this at breaking down. In a way, I just don't see Black Americans breaking down. And I think it's because they are finally, the veil is being lifted off of the promise of America. And I think that this is very crushing to them. They are grieving hard because they believed a lie that my people just didn't believe. Black Americans are more progressive. We've progressed past the American dream lie. We're past that. I mean, we got some people who are stuck in their respectability politics era. But a lot of those people are first generations. They're not even Black Americans. Because I'm telling you right now, Black Americans are past respectability politics. We're past that because we already tried it. It's not that we knew already. Like, we're not so enlightened by the fact that we're Black Americans. We tried everything. And that is the reason why every time an immigrant comes here, we try to let y'all know what the deal is with this country. And that's also why when you come into this country, they warn you about us. You think they warn you about us because we are dangerous and because, no, they warn you about us because we're going to tell you the truth. You might wake up a little faster if you hang out with Black Americans. That's why they don't want you hanging out with us. They don't want you near the truth tellers, obviously. So I really do feel sorry for the immigrants that are, the veil is being lifted from their eyes and they are crashing out. I be seeing so many videos of immigrants just like, so upset about the things that are happening in this country and mourning the loss of the American dream in a way that black people mourn that shit. I think my mom mourned it.
Recently, more Black Americans have been speaking openly about lineage and identity. Specifically, the difference between Black Americans whose ancestors were enslaved in the United States and the Black immigrants whose families came from Africa or even the Caribbean more recently. For some people, this distinction feels unnecessary. For others, it is extremely important. So, let's unpack the reasoning behind this conversation. Many Black Americans say their identity is deeply connected to specific historical experience in the United States. Their ancestors lived through slavery, Jim Crow segregation, and the civil rights movement. These events shaped a unique culture, community, and history inside the United States. Because of that, some people feel that their lineage should be recognized as a distinct identity, rather than being grouped together with everyone of African descent. They argue this is about historical accuracy, not hostility.
Across this app, I keep seeing people ask Black Americans, what have immigrants ever done to you? So here's the truth, because we are not going to keep pretending immigrants are automatically innocent just because supremacy is the bigger villain. Yes, immigration has caused harm to the Black American community. Not every immigrant, not only immigrant, and not always with intent, but measurable harm has happened. Economically, many employers have chosen immigrant labor at lower wages instead of hiring Black workers at fair wages. That choice has reduced opportunities for Black workers in the job sectors where we have historically been concentrated. That is a harm. Politically, as immigrant populations grew, major parties shifted their promises, their attention, and resources toward new voting blocs. The Black agenda has been repeatedly deprioritized as politicians calculate numbers rather than loyalty. That is harm. Culturally, Black American creativity has been used globally as a resource, while Black Americans are erased as origin. At the same time, many immigrants adopt negative stereotypes about Black Americans when they arrive because they learn quickly that distancing from us provides social benefits in this system. That is a harm. Geographically, the pattern is the same across multiple cities. Long-standing Black neighborhoods lost their population share and cultural control as new communities with greater economic leverage moved in. Gentrification and repopulation, and both resulted in Black displacement. That is a harm. Socially, immigrants did not enter a neutral landscape. They entered a country with an existing racial order that rewards those who rise above Black Americans, whether conscious or not. Many participated in that reward structure. That is a harm. And the only reason this conversation is treated like a taboo is because Black Americans are allowed to blame supremacy, but not allowed to acknowledge lateral harm from anyone else. We are allowed to hurt. We are just not allowed to name who contributed to the harm unless the answer is people. That is not hate. That is not xenophobia. That is not jealousy. It is displacement layered on top of sacrifice. Black Americans built what we built under terror and brutality, and everyone else arrived and benefited from that foundation. And when we say protect our share, protect our identity, protect our cultural space, we are told we do not get to decide. That is a harm. No one is asking immigrants to leave this country. Well, some people are, but I'm not. Not all of us are. No one is asking immigrants to undo history or carry guilt for what they didn't personally do. What is being asked, and has always been asked, is simple. Acknowledge the part you play in continuing the harm, whether you meant to or not. This has always been about accountability and acknowledgement. If accountability feels like an attack, ask yourself why you're willing to abandon being the harmed class in your own country just to become part of the system that harms us in this way.
Another part of the conversation focuses on cultural differences. Although people across the African diaspora share ancestry, cultures developed differently in different places. For example, African cultures, Caribbean cultures, and Black American cultures all evolved under different historical conditions. Food, language, traditions, and social experiences can vary widely. So, when some people say we are not the same, they may simply be pointing out different cultural backgrounds, not necessarily rejecting connection. Some people also raise concern about recognition and representation. They believe programs, scholarships, or even initiatives created to address the historical effects of slavery in the US should clearly acknowledge that specific history. From their perspective, separating identities help make sure historical injustices are accurately addressed. But others argue that focusing too much on separation could weaken unity among people of African descent. And that's where the debate becomes more complicated.
The reason why y'all want Black Americans to be affected by ICE so bad is because y'all are still convinced that we are immigrants, and we are not. We are not. We've been here for over 400 years, and for most of us, our ancestors have been here even before the slave trade. Most of us have American indigenous lineage that we can actually trace because a lot of our families were reclassified from Indian to Negro, and there's proof that we were reclassified. We are not immigrants. They can't send us back nowhere. Where they going to send me back? North Carolina? South Carolina? Georgia? Florida? That's the only place that we can go. We're not immigrants. This is not our battle. Furthermore, most of the people who are now being deported, or most of the people that are immigrants here, have always had a stigma against Black Americans. We're lazy, we're dirty, we're ghetto, we're loud, we're uneducated, we're this and we're that. But now that ICE is outside, we're supposed to be on the front lines of the same people who come here with these mentalities about us and don't even know us. I don't understand that. This is not our battle. This has nothing to do with us. And all the Black Americans who want to go outside and put themselves on the front line and risk their lives, that's on them. But don't expect for the majority of us to be out there risking our lives for something that don't got nothing to do with us. Now, when it comes to immigration, me, myself, I don't mind immigration as long as it's legal. I worked in the immigration office for a period of time back in 2016. And when I say there are hundreds of thousands of files of people trying to get into this country, and I'm talking about people who have been trying for 15 plus years to get into this country the legal way. And they still haven't been able to get in yet because of whatever is going on.
So, the whole of this conversation isn't just about academic spaces, and it is not happening online, it is not happening in communities or even across social media platforms. It is happening everywhere. Some people believe clear identity definitions create stronger communities. Others believe emphasizing differences can create unnecessary division. So both perspectives are part of a much larger discussion about identity, history, and belonging. So, what's important to remember is that the African diaspora is incredibly diverse. Millions of people around the world share African ancestry, but their histories and cultural experiences can be very different. Understanding those differences can help people have more informed conversations rather than reacting only emotionally. So at the end of the day, these conversations is really about identity and history. And some people want their specific historical moments or even experiences to be recognized. Others prioritize unity across global black community. So neither side is simple and the discussion is still evolving. But conversations like these are shaping how people think about identity in the modern world. Now, I would like to hear from you, my audience. Do you think distinguishing identities helps preserve history? Or do you think focusing on unity is more important? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below and kindly keep it respectful. Let's have a conversation or even a discussion. If you found this breakdown helpful, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more discussions like this. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.